Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how I get my full coverage last all day long makeup look without looking cakey, with it making sure that it's still flawless and still looks like your skin even though you obviously have makeup on. So yeah, if you guys want to see what products I use and all of the things that I do differently, obviously there are definitely some more steps in this look to kind of cover up my skin. My skin's going through a thing right now. I just went to the dermatologist a few weeks ago, and so she started me on some different medications, so it's bringing all of the acne to my surface. So my makeup routine has been a little bit more full coverage lately, actually very full coverage lately. So yes, if you guys want to see the products that I use and all the steps that I take to make sure that my face is looking flawless all day long, then just keep watching. Bye. Alright, so first things first, I am going to spritz my skin. This is kind of the first thing that I do that's an extra step that I don't usually, but this is something that really makes sure that my makeup lasts all day long, and it also just kind of helps my primer stick even better. So I just go in with the Too Faced Peach Mist setting spray. You can use this before and after makeup, so I'm just going to go ahead and spritz my skin. Alrighty, so once that has dried, we're just gonna go in and prime our skin. Same brand. I've been using this so much lately, you guys, so much. It would just work so great with that foundation. I have been loving it. This is just the Too Faced Primed and Peachy Cool Matte Skin Perfecting Primer. So we're gonna go in with some of this and just put this all over my skin. Okay, so the couple extra steps that I take to cover my acne scars is using a green concealer. So this green concealer just cancels out the redness. It doesn't completely cover the acne, it just kind of creates another little layer, so it's not so difficult to cover with the foundation. So I just spot this in the areas that there is just some extra acne scars that I don't want to be seen. So this is the Sephora green concealer, just the Sephora collection. It's called Bright Future color corrector in green. The green cancels out the redness, so yeah. And so then what I just do is I just take a beauty sponge. This is the Morphe beauty sponge, and I just kind of push it into my skin. So also an extra step that I do, I crease really bad in my nose. It's almost a guarantee every single time I wear foundation, no matter how less foundation, how less powder, how much powder, it just always creases in this area. But one little trick that I have found that has really helped make it last longer and crease hours and hours later is using an eye primer in this area. So eye primers are meant to prevent oily eyelids and making sure that your eyeshadow stays all day long. So it kind of works the same. I have oils that peek through really bad, so I go in with my MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot and just pick up just a little bit on the smidge of my finger, and I just pat it into those corners. Okay, so there's that, and then now I just go into foundation. The biggest thing with my foundation is making sure everything is absolutely covered and also not looking cakey. So I have been mixing my two current favorite foundations. I've been mixing my Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation, and then also mixing it with my Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I find that my Estee Lauder, it can be really, really heavy. Covers everything, absolutely everything, but sometimes if you do too much, it can look very cakey. But what I have found is mixing it in with this has just kind of made it a perfect little combination. So I am in the shade Tawny and Warm Nude of the Too Faced foundation. So all that I really do is I will just take about 2 pumps, 2 pumps of that. Holy cow, you guys. Okay. Pump was all janky. 2 pumps of that, and then about 1 pump of this one. And we're just gonna mix it together and just start applying it to our face. So really the key for covering my acne is my foundation. And it can really be fun. There's so many foundations out there that just cover everything up super well. So, and mine is this, so we're just gonna do this. You can use any beauty tool, honestly, that works best for you. I find that the sponge works best for me. I also do love a brush as well, but most of the time I go over it with a sponge just to kind of eliminate any streaks. So we're just going to pounce this into the skin using a damp beauty sponge. So what I will also do is create an even thinner layer because it's easier to kind of build up foundations than going in with a big goopy foundation. So if we go in with a thinner layer, it's also going to look a little bit more natural on the skin. Obviously, it's going to look like you're still wearing makeup, but I just go in with a thinner layer so that it is nice and even. Okay, so already, as you can tell, it's all for the most part very, very, very covered. Basically what I will really do if I have these 1 or 2 still kind of poking through, I will use concealer. I will go in with just one more little light layer. I think I'm just gonna go in with my Too Faced, just a very, very small little dollop. Pick it up on my beauty sponge again, and then just push it into the skin over the areas where I want a little bit more coverage. Okay, so you guys probably already know I'm going to be concealing with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This one in the shade Light Medium. As always, we're gonna conceal in our normal areas, putting them under the eyes so that we look a little bit more awake, and I will also dot it over certain spots that I want more coverage as well. So yay. So at this point, you're probably thinking, this is so much makeup. And it is, but the key is really blending it out and making sure that it doesn't look cakey and doesn't look like you're wearing makeup. So the sponge, boom, blend it out, looks so good. As long as you continue to just pounce and push it into the skin. Swiping motions is just gonna move things around. and make things look streaky. Pouncing is just going to blend it all together. Okay, so now that we have all of the liquids on our face, we're gonna add just one more. So we are looking very matte, very full coverage. Sometimes what I do, if I feel like I am just wanting my makeup to last a really, really long time, I will go in with a liquid illuminator. This is just going to bring some life back into the face. This is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. This is like one of like the smaller deluxe sizes. So what I'll do is I will just put some on the back of my hand, and then just using a sponge, picking up very little, I will just work it onto my cheekbones. And then you can see that there's some shimmeriness brought back into the skin. Why do I keep saying shimmery? Glowy. We'll call it glowy. So then we don't look so matte. So moving on, can I speak? We are going to set this face. I personally cannot just go out without setting this with a powder. If I don't set it with a powder, it's not going to last all day. It is going to break apart. The foundation is just going to look like crap. So what I do is bake. I really want to be matte all day long, all day long. My Dermablend is what's going to seal in my makeup. Otherwise, if I just want something looking a little bit more flawless, the Laura Mercier. And I've just been loving this. I don't know, it's just been a really good powder. But today, I think since I want this to be absolutely matte, I'm going to go in with my Dermablend powder again. So first things first, always make sure that your concealer is blended out and there's no creasing on your eyelids or underneath, and as well as your forehead. If you get forehead lines and smile lines like me, make sure those areas of the face are not creases, not creased, not creasy, whatever the word is. So what I'll do is I will just shake this. Well, usually I'll make a mess, but what I do is take this same sponge. I'll use the other side, that's not dirty, like it really makes a difference, and pick it up in here, and I just push it into the skin. This is when we look absolutely crazy, but it's so worth it for a flawless face. So I just push it in the areas that I want to last a long time. So kind of what I do is I let this sit for like 5-10 minutes, do my brows, that kind of thing. So we'll do that. I'll do my brows off camera, and then we'll be back and I'll show you the rest of the face. Okay, you guys, so I put my brows on, and typically what I do once I start baking is I just leave it on for like 5-ish minutes. Basically, just once I'm done with my brows, I brush it all away. So using a big fluffy brush, I'm just going to brush it, but also work it in to the rest of my skin. And so then I don't have to further go in with really any more powder, because this powder is already going to just set the rest of my face. Then it's not being wasted, I guess you could say. So this is really what gives your face that flawless finish. So already the foundation and the concealer, all of that already looks really, really good. The powder is so key in ensuring that we have a smooth canvas. It makes you feel not so cakey, and with using a translucent powder, you can't really see that there's much going on. So yeah, for the most part, this is basically the biggest thing with covering up acne. Obviously, sometimes you just can't cover it all, but without it looking too cakey. But this is kind of what I have been very, very happy with in the products that I've used, and I still feel good, still feel like I have a clean canvas to work with. So yeah, for the most part, everything that you can see is covered. Obviously, if we have raised bumps, you can't always cover those. Okay, so moving on, we're just going to bronze. One of the best bronzers, honestly, that I have found to not emphasize any skin texture and to last all day is my Hoola by Benefit bronzer. It's such a perfect tone. It works, honestly, anybody with light skin tones and tan skin tones. So we're just going to go in. I'm going to be using a Morphe E3 brush, picking that up, and we're just going to bronze the rest of the skin, focusing it on my forehead and the hollows of my cheeks. You're going to contour my nose using that same bronzer, and this is a Morphe E45 brush. And then we're going to pick up a little bit more same bronzer on this brush and just add a little bit more to chisel out those cheeks. So obviously that's a lot. So I'm going to take a little duo fiber brush from Eco Tools and just blend it. Okay, and moving on, honestly, the first thing that goes is blush for me. And I wish that wasn't the case because blush is so pretty, but for some reason blush just does not last on your cheeks. But the blush that I have found that has been best for me is MAC in the shade Melba. It's a really pretty flush of color. So we're just going to pop this on my cheeks. A very light amount because this stuff is so pigmented. Okay, and as always take a dual fiber brush and I blend that and my bronzer together. Okay, so as you guys can still see, that liquid shimmering Skin Perfector by Becca is still there on my cheeks, but we are still going to go in with a very light, pretty subtle highlight that doesn't emphasize the texture that I'm already having on my skin. So let's see, what do I want to go in with? I'm going to go in, this is the Hourglass Ambient lighting powder in dim light. It's not typically used for a highlighter. Sometimes it can just be brushed over your skin and it gives you this soft glow. But when I'm having extra texture days and having just acne, this is a powder. It doesn't swatch well, you can't tell, but once you put it on the high points of your cheek and your forehead, that kind of thing, it definitely gives you this like inner soft glow. It's so pretty. So I'm going to be taking this big little fluffy brush from Morphe and just dusting it over that highlight that's already there to kind of emphasize it a little bit more. Down the nose. So there you can see it's just kind of a really soft, pretty glowy kind of thing. So yes, you guys, we are almost done. I'm dancing to nothing right now. Okay, so that's basically for the face, you guys. It's gonna last all day long. So there's that. I'm gonna do the rest of everything else off camera and then I will be back. Okay, so I went ahead and just threw on some wing liner. No eyeshadow, you guys. I have been absolutely loving just the minimal, simple eye, no lashes, and just a wing. I did also pop just a shimmery eyeshadow in the middle just to give it a little bit of life to my eyes, I guess, but I have just been absolutely loving the full glam face, bold eyebrows, and a simple eye look. And so I'm just gonna go in with some lipstick. This is another thing. I've been going with simple eyes, bold brows, and a bold lip. So this is the LORAC Pro Liquid Lipstick in the shade Mulberry. So we're gonna do these. Okay, yes, so this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something to see how you can get your makeup to last all day long and cover up all of those little spots that we don't always love. Not everybody's perfect, but there is a way to hide it and make yourself feel a little bit better. So I hope you guys enjoyed this look. If you liked, please subscribe, hit that like button, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!